Well, now that we have an Azure Machine Learning Workspace, it's time to start using it. And to do that, we're going to use a tool called Azure Machine Learning Studio. So here I am in the blade for my workspace in the Azure portal, and there's a link to launch Machine Learning Studio. So when I click that, it opens up a new tab in my browser, and I'm able to go and look at the experiments that I have in my workspace. So here's Azure Machine Learning Studio. You can see I currently don't have any experiments because I've just created this workspace. And you can see that I've got a bunch of tabs on the left-hand side here where I can look at my projects that I've created. Those might contain some experiments. I might publish those experiments as web services. I might use some notebooks to go and explore some data. That data will be in data sets that I can either upload, or there are some sample data sets provided with Azure Machine Learning automatically. I'm going to train some machine learning models. I'll be able to look at those here. And I can configure the settings for my workspace and for Azure Machine Learning Studio here as well. So I've got these various tabs along here. Let's start by looking at experiments. And I currently don't have any experiments. And you can see over here that I've got the name of my workspace listed. So I'm currently working in the AML 012345 workspace that I provisioned earlier. Now, if I've got other workspaces associated with my account, I can switch to those workspaces here. And if they're in the same region, they'll all show up here. Or I can switch to different regions and see if there are any workspaces in those regions for me. So I can see here that I've got my AML 012345 workspace that I'm currently working in, but also there's a free workspace that I've created separately. So I can go and click that. And that will open up, it will just refresh the Azure Machine Learning Studio environment. And now I'm still in Azure Machine Learning Studio, but I'm working in that free workspace. I'm working in a different workspace now. And I can see there are some experiments in here and various resources. And what I might want to do is I might want to just select this experiment here, demo experiment, and I might copy that to a different workspace. So I can give it a different name if I want. I'm going to copy that to my AML 012345 workspace. And it will copy the experiment and any resources associated with that experiment, so any data sets that are in there that I've uploaded, and it will copy those across into the new workspace. If there are things like passwords or secure strings in there, it won't copy those across. I'd need to re-enter those in the different workspace for security reasons, but it's gone and copied everything across, and I get this little notification here. I could go ahead and directly open up the new copy from here, or just close that notification, and then I can switch back to my AML 012345 workspace. And in my Azure Machine Learning Studio environment, I can now see that I've got that experiment copied across. So I could start to use that experiment over in my, my other workspace, my AML 012345 workspace. Now, the other thing that's going on here is I'm able, in my settings section here, to manage different users. Now, the only user that's actually in this workspace is me, the user who created that workspace. But I'm actually in a separate browser here. I'm logged in as a different user here, and this user has their own workspace, MSFT VS AML, and it has an experiment in it called My Experiment. And what I've done here is if I go to Settings and take a look at users in this workspace, here's the user that owns this workspace, so this is why I'm currently logged in as, but I've also invited this gmalk@microsoft.com account to be a user in this workspace. So I'm able to invite other users to come and join in my workspace. And because I've done that, if I go back to my own account here, and I look at my list of available subscriptions or available workspaces, I can see that MSFT VS AML workspace is there. If I click on that, and that's going to open up in Azure Machine Learning Studio that other workspace. So I'm now working in the MSFT VS AML. It's not my workspace, it's someone else's workspace, but because I'm a user in there, I can go in there and I can work with the experiments that are in there and run those and all that type of thing. So what we've seen here is the ability to use Azure Machine Learning Studio to navigate different workspaces that you might want to work in and to navigate through the resources that you have in those workspaces.